Well, good evening. You're very welcome to the Masters Championship for round number 7 of Division 2 here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. My name is Graham, and I'm going to do my best to bring the action to you tonight from a track that loves to throw up the old penalty here and there, and I'm sure we'll be seeing lots of them as we get cracking into the race. A couple of bits of housekeeping. There's a couple of reserves in tonight, including Venom Splits, Stevie G, both in the McLarens, Jetty in the Red Bull filling in as well, and I believe that is I think Unsafe Release also I think is filling in the Renault as well, if I have that right. Indeed. So that's where we stand. A couple of other bits and bobs. Team C's Zlatan, you can see, retired from the session. He has a qualifying ban, so he's done his outlap and he's come back in, and we can carry on with qualifying with TMC Wesker coming down the main straight, and he gets things rolling with a 109.4 on mediums, and that's actually not too bad on a set of mediums. You're going to see lots of times in the you'd be lucky actually to see too many laps better than that on mediums. I think we'll see how long that stands, but a couple of guys on softs, Focky here being one of them, and he goes quickest on 109.2. So we'll see who can crack into the 8s. As Venom splits the 9 flat on mediums. There you go then. Try beating that on mediums. Everyone else has more laps flying in. And Bert then goes quickest on softs. 108.7 for Bert on a set of softs. So people going right for the softs then. What you saw with Division 1, the 2-stop wasn't the most amazing out there. So we'll see how that pans out for the guys, as Yaram just beginning his lap now in the Ferrari. Let's see how he takes turn 2 on the throttle early. Might be a hint of medium TC there. See if he goes through the difficulty of turns 3 and 4. Oh, gets very close, and you see the wing flying away there. So that'll be that lap disrupted straight away. But you're interested to see already off the bat the kind of guys who are going for the softs and the mediums. Excuse me. Look at softs. Again, anything you want, ideally you want to be in the 8s if you're on softs. If you're in the 9s, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And obviously if you're in the mediums, again, anything in the 9s is pretty good. 9 flat being obviously a very good time there from Venom Splits, and 9.4 from Wesker being not too shabby either. There's a couple guys in the hards already. Weiberg, Mark the Man, just to name a few. Matter here in the Renault. Also on a set of hards, pushing to the limit there. As Stevie G then gets on into the 9s then on the mediums as well, goes up to 6th place as we stick with the Renault of Matter, rocking the Nico Hulkenberg style helmet. As he slows down towards turns 7 and 8, I believe, 8 and 9 rather, and this hairpin then as turn 10. Interesting, he didn't go into first gear there, he stuck it in second. Thought he may have gone into first for a bit of extra rotation heading into that hairpin. Could have certainly done with it. He goes and roaring up the back straight then, heading into the notorious final chicane. See how he takes this. You want to take as much of this curb as you can without actually cutting it, and very smooth and clean from Matter there. But what's this time going to be? It's going to be the slowest so far. It's an 11.8 on the hard compound tyre. As everyone else into the pits then. I guess that most people are going to do softs, because again, if you're Wesker setting your time on softs or mediums to go, I'm sure you're going to go for another lap, and he's sure it's going to be on the soft compound tyre. But we'll see in these remaining 11 minutes 40 seconds. His teammate Merck again, very wide, going with the wide entry. You can actually go a little bit wider into that hairpin. And get some of the time back on traction on the exit. See what Merck can do then. See, rounds the final chicane, takes a good bit out of that first part. We'll see if that was on the limit or if that will count as valid. Comes across the line and does count. It's a 10.5 on the hards. He's 3/10 behind Weiberg on the same compound, so I'm sure he'll be hoping for a little bit more than that. Here's a person who you should be looking at as a decent contender for today's race. It is Sway in the Racing Point. Man is capable of popping in low 8s. We'll see when push comes to shove and the real session comes, how he can handle the pressure. See what lap time he can put in, weaving a bit there. Maybe he's abandoned this lap, has he? And he has bailed into the pits indeed. SH then coming up behind him on this back straight into overtake mode on the ERS. Zooms on by. And braking. He didn't take enough of that first part of the chicane as he needed to, but it's going to be a set of time at a 9.2 for SH. He moves up to 4th place. Venom out on another lap. Unsafe release. He's actually coming near the end of his lap now. See if Kerstin Kev is anywhere near. Not quite. As the other Renault. Again, very tentative entry into that chicane. They want to stuff us into the wall of champions at a 109.7 for unsafe release. He moves into the top 10 for the time being. Tom Brishy's had trouble getting the laps together. He's been up this back straight a couple of times and still hasn't really put in a representative time. Looks like Kerstin Kev has bailed on his time as Yaram was going for his run now through turns 8 and 9. Very dodgy corner because the exit of turn 9 on the left hand side of the curb, it's so, you have the marginalist of cuts and you do end up invalidating your lap. I sense a strategy here from Ferrari as SH punches a hole in the air and Venom splits at 8.1 on the softs, goes even quicker. How about Yaram then? What can he do with the benefit of the toe? Ooh, I think that might have been an invalidation. He's taken too much of that last corner. Let's see if it does count. No, it's a 109.3 in any case, as Jetty then is up to 3rd place, 8.9. Another man into the 8s then on the sauce. Good lap from Jetty. And meanwhile, just ahead of him in terms of position is Burton. He's coming through the final chicane. Oh, that's a very sweet chicane. Very sweet indeed. Drifts over to the left hand side. Actually increases the track covered by doing that, but ended up not improving regardless. 9.1 for Burt. He remains in P2 as Tom Bridgie looks like he's finally on a lap here. Again, slow in, fast out if you must down that for that last chicane as he races across the line. It's a 109.6 for Tom. He goes up into 8th place then. CVG in McLaren, his teammates on provisional pole, and he joins them in the top 3. First part of the second row there, 8.9 for Stevie G. Moves up into 3rd place then. It's a good lap from Stevie G. Reserved today in Division 2. Wesker looks like he's on another run as well on the softs this time to start. On the mediums, now he's on the softs. Historically, this is one of Wesker's better tracks. And he comes across the line at 8.8, so a good lap from Wesker. And he displaces Stevie G for that 3rd position for the time being. I believe it was season 4, I think, of F1 2017, where Wesker got onto the podium here in the old League 1, I believe it was called. This is one of his better tracks. He's got a couple of them coming up there, including Austria, his home Grand Prix, but he's got to navigate this one first and navigate without any penalties, and if he can, that's going to be difficult for Wesker. Loves an old penalty. Both Williams drivers do love the old penalty, and this is probably the toughest track on the calendar, I reckon, for penalties. Got to be up there. Meanwhile, Sway then, oh, he's into the wall, and the wing goes flying, but how much time would that have scrubbed off come the end of this one? Even despite that contact with the wall, it's at 8.6 for Sway, and he goes into 2nd place, so he has put the lap together, and now, kind of no matter what, he's going to have good grid position, and now he's got to turn it up in the race. His teammate is, well, nursing damage on both sides of that wing, and has to try and find his way back. Someone just popped into the top there. It's Weiberg into 4th place then, joining his teammate on the 2nd row in the Toro Rosso. 8.7 for Weiberg, just 3 thousandths slower than his teammate Burt. So those two have been pretty close in terms of pace most of the season, and that continues here, at least for now, in this mid stage of qualifying. There's a lot of people in the pits. We got Merck on a lap on mediums. So I wonder if this is just steady progression for Merck. Is he just building up to a set of softs, or is this going to be the pinnacle of his qualifying on these mediums? We'll find out if he does end up going for softs, it's weird why he wouldn't just go with softs from the outset and do 3 runs on those rather than build up and just do the 1 flying lap then on the softs. We'll see what he chooses to do, but for now, as he rounds the hairpin and charges up the straight. DRS line a little bit further back this year compared to last year. How much of that will benefit Merck here? See, brakes, very nice chicane indeed on the power. Shortest run down to the line as other drivers have not been doing. It's a 9.1 on me. That's a good time from Merck on the mediums, but unfortunately I don't know if he'll be able to remain in the top 10, so I'm not sure if that lap will count for much in the end. But for now, it's a good lap. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very good lap on mediums, but with everyone else on softs pretty much, I'm just not sure it's going to really last inside the top 10, as good of a lap as it may be. So we'll see come the last 4 minutes 44 seconds. Very blessed amount of time left. That is SH going up into 3rd place, is it? No, thought it was for a second. I saw some change at the top here. Oh well. I almost pick up Matter. He was in the Renault, came down the back straight. He's pulled into the pits, and his teammate is on an out lap. Not many people on laps, to be fair. Then Splits pulling into the pits. Yaram looks like he's on an in lap as well. Is he? We'll find out. Stevie G is on a lap. Is he? He is. So we'll go with Stevie G as soon as we can't find out what the story is with Yarmy's into the pits. So I'll jump aboard the other McLaren. His teammate Venom Splits is in provisional pole by a convincing margin. And I do expect him to run away with this one, unless penalties have a say. But I believe Stevie G still uses full TC, so it's amazing what he's able to get out of it performance-wise, despite using no TC. But surely be using medium this year. I don't know. Always amazed me what he's able to achieve. And he is up on his time very marginally, very late in the downshift, but does stick with 2nd gear then rather than 1st. Makes life for him a little bit easier on traction if he doesn't lose too much time on initial turn-in by not going down to 1st. So he charges up then. Goes down to 4th gear very briefly, then back up to 5th. And the run down to the line, it's going to be an improvement of an 8.696, so found a lot of time in that last sector and managed to pump in an 8.6, just a couple of hundreds behind Sway for 2nd place. A couple of other laps now flying in. Tom Pritchie is one of the Mercedes pair. Haven't really got it hooked up so far. See what Tom can do. Opens the DRS. Better run out of DRS actually as he gets down towards the line. And he's just into the top 10. Knocks Merck out of it. 9.12 for Tom. And sadly, I think Merck's efforts have gone to waste. In reality, maybe he should have just gone with softs to begin. Give himself more runs on the softs in case he invalidates a lap, because it's so easy here. If you can see if you can pick up on someone on a lap. Excuse me, can I go down? Pick up anyone on a lap. Everyone's kind of either, well, most people are on the out lap now, getting ready to start as we hit 2 minutes. See who's the first of them. I think we'll go with we'll go with Weiberg here. We'll take you through the kind of challenges of a lap here on Canada in terms of validating a lap. First, obviously, being turn 1. Take too much. You want to take a lot of that curb. Take too much, you obviously cut it, and then validate your lap. That looks like medium TC for Weiberg, to be fair. I'm not sure. Turns 3 and 4 very easy to invalidate both on entry and on exit. I would have thought Weiberg was on no TC, but it looked like the throttle was flat to the mat. Yeah, definitely. Turn 6 is a bit easier to not invalidate, but turns 8 and 9 are pretty tough because you want to take a good bit of this curb, and obviously as much as you can on exit as Alibaba retires from the session, so it's easy to invalidate there as well. So watch Weiberg then. He's up over a 10th and a half on his current time. as Tom Pritchie retires from the session. Then, so lap time's going to be coming in thick and fast. So bear with me as we try and keep up. And obviously the last hurdle for this lap is obviously the last chicane, both on entry and on exit. And the charge down to the line is going to be a 1:08.7 for Weiberg, and he goes up to 4th place. His teammate is facing the wrong way, so that's going to be it for Birch in terms of oh, he's disqualified as well for being parked in a dangerous location. So that's Bert then all the way down to the back then. That's a shame for him, as Yarm can only get up to 15th on the softs and then cuts across the pit lane. See if you can pick up anyone else quickly. His teammate SH running down to the finish line. Unsafe release is there as well. And SH then 8.2, but was invalid. Looked pretty hot and bothered coming through the last chicane. Here comes Wesker. In front of him, I think, is a McLaren. As Venom splits, 8.1 is finished with qualifying. And no improvement for it is an improvement for Wesker, but I think his lap was actually it wasn't an improvement, it just wasn't enough to actually gain him any positions. Let's see if you can pick up anyone. That's checker flag is now out. Focky then in the Haas, the sole Haas in qualifying. Synchronizer joined late. Good exit for Focky. He runs down to the finish line. What can he do? He needs a good position here. He's up to 7th, 8.8 for Focky. Here comes Sway. Much cleaner exit on the last turn this time, and he pumps in a 1:08.4, and that has just nipped him ahead of Merck in the Williams by a couple of hundredths. So Merck got the run in the end on the softs he needed. And I think that's it, unless Kerosene Kev has something to say. Kerosene Kev, I think the best and the last chance for someone to make a last ditch attempt at pole position. What can he do then? Did he take too much of that entry? We'll find out. Run down towards the line. It's going to be an 8.7. He moves up into 6th place, as that is going to do it for qualifying here at Canada. Frantic finish, but in the end it is Venom Splits who takes pole position at Canada. He is ahead of Sway in 2nd. Great effort by him. It's a big race for him. It's probably his best chance of a podium, certainly this season so far, but we'll see in the context of this season what happens. Merck then in 3rd, Stevie G then, good job from him, in 4th, Weiberg 5th, Kerosene Kev 6th, SH 7th, Focky in 8th, Wesker in 9th, Jetty in 10th, Tom Pritchie in 11th, Mark Demand 12th, Unsafe Release 13th, Adi Baba 14th, Yarm 15th, Matter 16th, and then rounding out the grid, a qualified ban for Team C's Latanis in 17th, no time set for Timo in 18th, and Burst was disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location at the exit of turn 7. It is a dry race. Sun is shining beautifully. And now we can see what the story is for strategy. So most people are going for these softs then. Well, I think everyone's on the top 10 going for softs. So they're going on different strategies than the guys outside the top 10. Are they nailing themselves to the 2-stop? I'm surprised everyone went for the softs. You had to go for the softs anyways because everyone else is doing it. If you did the mediums, you'd just be wasting qualifying position. So guys outside the top 10, I'm interested in seeing for sure how they get on with the 1-stop possibly compared to the 2 guys, because I think watching Div 1 and watching other races here, I think the 1-stop did seem to be the best way forward. But we shall find out in the next 35 laps. Yes, 35 laps. This track is a quick one, and plenty of laps to account just for that. Come on. Please? Asking nicely. Classic F1. Wouldn't be a Codemasters game without some sort of issue happening. It's gonna be stuck like this, isn't it? Looks like it. Joy of joys. Should be fun. see what decision is made. I'd imagine we'll have to restart, but I guess we'll wait and see. Yes, I believe so, with Timo leaving the session, so I'm guessing there is going to be a restart. Hopefully we can get this up as soon as possible, but your guess is as good as mine. In the meantime, if you're watching on YouTube, hey, throw a comment is a good time to do it. Say something, anything to keep a bit of conversation going. Looks like actually the loading symbols are actually getting up again, so maybe things might get back, but of course actually, yeah, I think we are just restarting, aren't we? It is an aborted start, so I'll have to see what happens. Hopefully we can get it up going as soon as possible. I don't know if we'll keep, I suppose we'll keep streaming for the time being, but so we get things sorted once again. If you're on YouTube, hey, say something. Help this process better for everyone. It would certainly help. Yep, good stuff, Scuba. GG Codemasters, indeed. Always good stuff. Good at Focky as well to stick his car in the wall as well for the fun of it. It's a beautiful grid. I mean, it's the best grid I've ever seen in my life. It's the best you've ever seen. So there is but if you're watching, if you just picked up, the lobbies will be reset because yeah, issues loading in, and as you can see, other issues as well. It's a thing of beauty. It really is. I mean, this is beautiful. It really is. Such precision, such excellent attention to detail. Truly, game of the year. Okay, so I don't know how long this is going to take. The lobby hasn't even been set up yet, so we're going to stop this stream, and then when things are ready to rock and roll for the new one, we'll pick it up then. So there'll be a new stream. Bear with it as we get things sorted out. But once again, Codemasters, absolutely top-notch stuff. Excellent stuff. Brilliant.